Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us here today on the Echo Means Business, another Echo Means Business live session. I'm here today with Jason Troy to
Hello,
discuss
everybody.
this skill/equipment helped me earn extra money. My name is Don Stewart. I'm a UAG member, so User Advisory Group member with Echo Means Business. I run Stewart Lawn. I've been in operation for about 8 years this week, actually. Services I provide, lawn care, trimming, leaf cleanup, spring cleanup, all that kind of stuff. And then also, I'm located in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, so I also do some snow removal. I'm hearing there's a bit of feedback. I'm going to try to fix that while I let Jason Troy kind of introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jason Troy. I'm the owner and operator of Troy Turf Co. I'm located in Marion, Iowa. I've been in business since about 2018 is when I launched my company. I'm just a solo operator. I mainly focus on lawn maintenance, fertilization, and just started getting into some light landscaping.
Awesome. I'm still getting the feedback. I'll try to fix that in a second. So why don't we jump right into it, Jason, while I try to figure out the setting? What's one skill or equipment that you use to earn extra money?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that I have a specific skill that I'm great at. I think all of us in the landscaping business or lawn care, we have many different skills. Whether it's we're good at this or good at that, or things like that. I like to think we can make more money with special equipment. I recently just bought I invested in a new dump trailer to expand my business, my landscaping side of my business. I just got tired of waiting around for, scheduling dump trucks to come dump rock or come dump dirt. I figured if I made the investment that just saving time alone is valuable and makes me, everybody always says time is money. So the less time I have waiting around for somebody else, the more money I could be making.
For sure. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Hopefully the sound's a little better. I think I might have fixed it.
No,
No?
it's worse on my end now.
Sorry, guys.
That's all right. I'll still talk about my dump trailer though. A little bit of background with my business is, I'm a solo operator, but I'm not full time. I'm just part time. So I work a full time day job, and then when I'm off work, I load up my trailer and I go to work. It's basically almost working two full time jobs. But the dump trailer I bought, since I'm not a large company, I'm just a small company. I bought a 5x10 Horizon dump trailer, which suits my needs perfectly fine. I'm just doing small landscape rocking jobs. Maybe if somebody has a home or a new construction home that they just built and they want to rock around the back patio or rock all the way around and landscape all the way around their house, that's where I come in and kind of specialize with that stuff. I don't do hardscapes or anything, but the rock stuff, I'm getting pretty good at it lately. Yep.
That's awesome. Question in the group already. What size dump trailer was it again?
Yeah, it's actually a 5x10. It's a Horizon HZ5. I didn't bring a picture with it, but I did a lot of research on dump trailers of that size. It basically came down to the Horizon and the Load Trail. And I just went with the Horizon one because you could get into multiple colors. It just didn't come in just the plain old black. And the way I run my business too is, I think image is everything with a lot of businesses. If you don't, I can't say that. I take that back. I mean, image does mean a lot, but anyways, I went with this specific dump trailer because I could color code it with my company logo and whatnot. So it's actually blue. It's got black in it. A lot of my uniforms are blue with the lime green and black. So it matches up very well. It also has the scissor lift to it too. So I appreciate having that.
Sorry guys, I'm just joining. Does that work a little better?
Sounds better.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jason, keep going.
Oh, I lost my train of thought.
The color of your...
Oh yeah, it's a blue trailer. I wish I had a photo to share, but I don't. The 5x10 though, I mean I didn't upgrade the axles or anything like that. Just there wasn't one available in my area to get with the upgraded springs, the heavy duty. So I can haul up to about 7,500 pounds. And to me, that's a lot.
What kind of truck do you have to pull that?
I just have a half ton. That's another reason why I went with a 5x10. Just having a half ton truck. I didn't want to put too much stress on it, and just, I don't travel a lot on the highways. A lot of my work is done locally, so I'm under 35 or less, for the most part. But it goes pretty good.
You're not doing a lot of landscaping. You don't really need to have the heavier duty dump trailer either, really.
Correct. But I mean, if you went anyway, like a 14-foot, depending on how heavy you load it, you just, just from a safety standpoint, is it doable? Yes, but
should you do it is a different question.
I would never do it. I'm a safety kind of guy. I used to drive semi, so I'm all about loads and not being overweight and all that stuff. So some people will just fill up that trailer as much as they can without even knowing the consequences of the trouble that you can find yourself into.
Definitely.
Yep.
So I think one of the things I was thinking about personally that I've kind of done in a service that I offer, it's really simple little things like having a chainsaw in your truck, having a trimmer on it, having your edger kind of thing, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't take a lot of equipment to be able to offer that extra service to your clients. And I know we've talked about this a lot kind of in the UAG group, and just chatting about how having that chainsaw and being available if a client comes out and asks you a question and says, hey, do you mind cutting down these 3 branches off my tree? Being ready and available to do that service for them is huge. I also find as well that if a client asks you to do a service at that moment, they're usually more willing to jump in and do it right away. Whereas if you have to go home, you have to put together a quote, send it to them. I don't want to say they've had time to think it through or anything like that, because that sounds bad, like you're trying to take advantage of them. But I do think that if a client is there asking you a question, they want it done that moment. So if you're able to pull the chainsaw out of your truck or pull the trimmer out and do a couple extra things, I think that's a service that when you first start out in the industry, I think we all kind of focus and we do just lawn mowing and trimming kind of thing. But as you grow your business, having that extra equipment, being able to offer those extra services, I think is huge and can make you a lot of extra money.
Sure, I agree with that. I don't always carry a chainsaw around with me, depending on the property that I'm going to. Most properties, I service maybe a handful that I have time for, a handful of commercial properties. And within those commercial properties, they basically give me the full range. I'm basically a property manager. So I do everything from the mowing services to the tree and shrub trimming, to the fertilization, to any other small landscaping thing. So if I know I'm going to one of those accounts, I may load up the chainsaw and take it with me too. But I agree with you. I think having that on hand can earn you a lot of extra money too, just by trimming this or trimming that. Or, I've scored a couple different commercial properties next to other ones just because I was out there trimming trees. They stopped and said, hey, do you do this? Can you do this down here at my place too? So
that's a really great point.
Mm-hmm.
Couple questions here. Core aerations. I agree. Landscapes by Acme. I think that's a service. I don't do it as much anymore, but I did earlier on, kind of when I first started the business. I think also in my area too, power raking. I think a lot of people call it scarify. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but power raking for me was another service that just made sense. It also gives you that income and that revenue in times of the season when you're not just mowing too, right? Like if I'm able to fill up my April and May for us personally, like where I am, we don't really get into a lot of cutting until kind of mid-May into June, some months, depending on the snow that we get. But if I'm able to make some money power raking, aerating, doing any kind of spring cleanup work, whether that's trees, trimming, hedges, all that kind of stuff, I think that's just you're making money at a time when I wouldn't traditionally be making money. So I think that's a great point.
Yeah, I also I don't mean to interrupt you here, but
Nope.
I have an aerator, I have a dethatcher, and I have a scarifier. In the way, and they make me a lot of extra money. And I don't invest heavily in those. I just, some people know you can go to Home Depot and go to the used rental tool center and you can buy things through them. Prices for used to be better, pre-COVID, but now everything's more expensive nowadays. Even a used piece of equipment through them is, can be, if you don't have the cash flow, be a little bit of a, investment and stuff like that. With an aerator, how many yards is it going to take to get your money back and whatnot? But yeah, I do the same thing as you do, before mowing starts, and then definitely at the end of the season too. If my residential customers had a harsh summer, it's super hot, super dry, in the fall, late fall and stuff like that, I'll come in and clean up the yard with with a power rake or a scarifier or something like that. Yep.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I know one thing that I did too when I first started was with the aerator is I would actually go to Home Depot and rent it for 2 to 3 days or something like that in a row, and line up my clients so that I had them all like these are the aerations that we're doing this week, and then you're only spending $300 or $400 to rent a piece of equipment. The problem with the aerator that I found is that, at least for me personally, like I use it for 1 week kind of out of a year, and that's a pretty big investment. As you kind of said, it's a lot of money to put out for especially smaller guys like ourselves, to be honest with you. I know larger landscape companies, obviously you're using it for 2, 3, 4 weeks a year kind of thing, but fall aerations aren't as big here as they are, I think, in other locations as well. But definitely springtime, that's where you can make a lot of money with the right tools kind of thing. So. Another one, this old relic, problems with overloading half-ton truck. You have half-ton brakes. Fair point. I think Jason kind of commented on that. Just the safety man in you would never use that. But
yeah, you can always put more heavy duty or brakes on there or suspension and things like that. I've been contemplating, since I have that dump trailer now, yeah, it's only a 5x10, but it'd be nice to, I'm thinking I'm almost to the point where I want to upgrade to a larger 250 or 2500 or something like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think another thing too that for people in certain areas like myself, where we do get snow, one of the things that I never really knew that people did this prior to kind of getting into the industry, but it's almost using equipment for uses in different seasons. So, for example, backpack blowers. I use a backpack blower 90% of the time when I do snow because of how cold it gets here. I think that it was such a simple thing to tie into the business, was doing snow removal because of that. Most of us have snow blowers anyways, but being able to use equipment, I think, for multiple seasons, it's just, you save money because you're only buying one piece of equipment, and then you're also able to make that revenue at a time when you typically weren't as well.
So when you use that backpack blower to blow off, driveway, sidewalks and stuff, do you find yourself saving time or just saving yourself from body aches and things like that?
A bit of both, honestly. So typical 2-car driveway, if it's an inch to an inch and a half, I have the Echo PB9010 now. You can go up to kind of 2 to 3 inches of powder snow. It can't be super wet, but I have been impressed at how much snow it can blow. I can be done a property in a minute 2 minutes kind of thing for a 2-car driveway. You can shovel pretty quick when you get into it kind of thing, but exactly what you just said, like if I'm able to save my back and pull out the backpack blower for 4 to 5 or 6 properties straight, like it helps a lot, and it's quick, and it also, I think it's cleaner when you're done too, because you don't have the shovel marks. You're blowing that snow halfway to your neighbor's yard kind of thing. So
Yeah, I always found it, not to be off subject here, but always found it too whenever I used the blower. If it got to 1 or 2 inches, maybe 5 feet down the way, at least where I live in Iowa, sometimes that pavement can still be a little bit warm or something like that. And then the snow just tends to pack up and drift a little bit more. So it's harder to blow.
Yep.
So, yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, I think it totally depends on the type of snow you get in a place like Iowa where you are. I'm sure it's a lot wetter, obviously, with the lake effect and some of the other impacts of that. I'm in the middle of the prairies, so I'm pretty lucky with that. I can blow that snow, and most of the time as well, it's super cold. Like it gets down to minus 40 degrees Celsius, which is the same. Minus 40 is the same for both. So when it's that cold, it really doesn't matter. Black sheep lawn care. We use a pole saw a lot for palm trees. Always good to have in the trailer. Totally agree, Pablo. I think it's a great point, and kind of comes back to what we were talking about earlier, is having that equipment with you so that if a client does have questions kind of thing, you can pull it out and quickly get that done. What else do we have here? What extra services do you do, Troy? That was another question.
Well, we touch base a little bit. I do aeration services. I do offer that in the spring and fall. I do fertilization. But the way I structure my fertilization program, it's different than most. I'm not like True Green, where first of all, I don't make people prepay for services. That might be right or wrong, but I'm not one just to be showing up, throwing fertilizer around, in the middle of a drought, or if it's not going to be beneficial for the customer. And I think people appreciate that, and which leads into other business opportunities within them, like an aeration or overseed project in the fall or something like that. Yeah. Other areas I do, like I said, small landscaping jobs. A thing that I've been doing a lot lately is which I want to do more of a going door to door, asking for a business, is on my commercial properties. I call them the front landmark signs, where they have their front main business sign out front. A lot of them will have landscape around it there that just crap or full of weeds, or just the edging around my area. People come in with the black vinyl edging, and so I just come in there, rip that black vinyl edging out, and put a paver block down, and then bring in new rock, and just wipe out all the landscape and everything else. The profit alone in that, it's substantial, for me to want to do more. I've done 4 of them already this year. And again, I'm part-time, not full-time. So 4 for me is a lot, because I can't just spend all day at one job. So, but definitely something I want to get more into too. And having that dump trailer available creates those opportunities for me to be able to do that. Yeah.
I was just going to say that's just having the dump trailer in general is probably just huge for that, being able to add that service and branch out. Mark Thomas, thanks for joining. What size dump trailer would you go to next if you upgraded?
I'd probably go to, I operate my business out of a storage garages in my home. Actually, it's super convenient. I find myself taking up all 3 stalls in my house here at my house versus, driving 15 minutes away to my storage units. But anyways, I don't keep my equipment outside, so they're always kept protected from weather environments and things like that. So if I went to something and I had the space to park it indoors, it would probably be, like a 10 by 14. And then I would definitely put the boards and the sides to be able to go taller. My main mower trailer I have now, it's only a 5 by 8, but I put the 4-foot mesh sides on it. And actually, that's a great tool too for solo operators getting into the business. When you're buying your trailer, you can get just like a little carry-on trailer. Yeah, what is it? 3, 4, 5,000. But if you spend just another 1,500, you can get yourself a nice. Mine's a PJ Dove 5x8 with a dovetail, and it's got the 4-foot mesh sides. So before that dump trailer, I was filling that thing with tree limbs and debris from cleanups, and it's so convenient, so nice. It's actually a good tool.
Do you think you would get the bigger dump trailer while still part-time, or would you need to wait to kind of make that jump to go full-time before you decided to invest?
That's a great question. Hey, I think I'm ready to go full-time. Actually, I know I'm ready to, but it's, that's a leap of faith. But I think I would, if I just stayed where I'm doing now, there's no reason for me to go to that 10x14 to grow that big. I just think that takes it to another level, because there's more you can do with it. You can start hauling junk or anything for people, maybe for hire too, do a little Facebook post, hey, looking for dirt, I'm your guy to haul it to you. And I can still do that with a 5x8, but you just can't, if somebody wants 5 tons or something, it's probably pushing the limits for me.
That was going to be my next question. Have you thought about doing that, using it for that kind of thing, like delivery services for other people or other landscapers even, or something like that? Is that something you entertain?
Not for other landscapers, but I have thought about, people who reach out to me. I like to share my knowledge, and I like it when people step, where they don't become lazy and they don't want to do their own work. I like people who take care of their stuff. So when people come to me, hey, can you come talk to me about my lawn? Tell me what I can do, and things like that. So I like to do that. So if they're willing to do the work, I'm not mad if that's what they want to do, and I'm willing to help them out, and if they wanted to hire me to go, get a couple tons of landscaping stone or dirt or something like that, yeah, I would definitely look into doing that.
I like that. Just helping other people out.
Mm-hmm. I'm all about that. I live in a new development. It's, I don't know, maybe 5 years old. And within this development, I service so many, actually all my residential mowing accounts I kind of limit it just to my neighborhood because it's so easy to get to. And I'm not spending time driving around everywhere.
Well, yeah, because your route is super dense. We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah, I don't, again, you hear people talk about route density and things like that. And I agree with that. You save, time is money. Like I said earlier, if you spend all these times driving a half hour to account, then you got to drive a half hour back, especially if you don't have other accounts over maybe on the other side of town or something like that. I'm not doing that. And I'm not afraid to say no when that's the case. I try to stay within a 20, I don't even know, I wouldn't say 20 mile, but maybe 15-minute drive. But for me, that's pretty close. It doesn't take much time. And that's the same thing with back to that dump trailer too. A lot of my accounts where I service people, I have a rock quarry that's literally 3 miles down the road for me. So it's super easy to drive that trailer down there, load it up, whether it's half full or all the way full. I can just get what I want and go. Don't have to wait. Saving money, making money.
That's awesome. Do you do a lot of mulch jobs in your area?
I hate mulch. If somebody came to me and said they want to do a mulch job, I probably would turn it down. That's just me, though. You still there, Don? We think I lost you. But anyways, back to mulch. I'm not a fan of mulch. I think it's messy. Every time it rains, it goes everywhere. Every time it's windy. Iowa is a windy state. I don't remember it being this windy when I was a kid. But anyways, it's windy. It blows all over the place. Even places where mulch isn't around, mulch seems to show up there. It's crazy. So anyways, I'm not a fan of mulch. What about you?
Okay. I don't do a ton of landscape projects. just once again, part-time like yourself. I don't find I have a ton of time to do it, but if one of my regular clients does want something like that, I'm happy to do it, kind of thing. I don't have a dump trailer. It's something I've looked into, just haven't made the jump to that yet. But I do know, and I know we've had this discussion amongst ourselves quite a bit of time. There is a lot of money to be made if you have the right equipment and the right. I think trailers are such a key part of making that next jump. So it's exciting to see you getting into it, and I know we've had a couple other people that have discussed getting one as well, or at least getting a larger one. So I think if I did get a dump trailer, I think it just opens up a lot of avenues, obviously, for you.
It does, definitely. Just think, you being in Canada and with all that snow, you can just buy yourself a end loader or a skid steer and fill it up with snow and haul it away.
That is it is big business here for a lot of parking lots and that kind of thing. It is a requirement basically that you're, whether it's a Bobcat and a garbage or a big 5-ton truck kind of thing. Getting rid of the snow is the biggest part of a lot of those commercial contracts. So.
Sure. Hey, I wanted to go circle back before we run out of time here to Mark Thomas's question about, what size dump trailer, if upgraded, what I would go to next. That another thing would be, definitely if you went up, even when you go to the manufacturer or your dealership, they're going to tell you if you get up above, that 14-foot dump trailer range, they're going to recommend going to that bigger size truck too, just for the ratings. So, I'd probably upgrade my truck before I upgraded my dump trailer in that order.
Don't put the cart before the horse.
That's right. Yep. Yep.
Question from Zachary. New backpack blower 90. That's news to me. If we know that there's a new one, I know we're a bunch of us are heading out to a media event in September. We haven't heard anything other than that so far, so you might have the inside scoop. Not sure. Any other questions from the group before we log off here? We want to try to keep these to 30 minutes just to keep the information on topic and not take too much of people's time. I guess quickly while we maybe wait for a couple more questions if any come in, we do have another live in August. It's going to be hosted actually by Mark Thomas, which is super exciting. He is going to be leading a discussion about chainsaws. I know a couple of the people in the group. We have a couple arborists, a couple other frequent users of them, I'll call them. Maybe not arborists per se, but they'll be on the call to help have a great discussion on that.
Which chainsaw do you use now, Don?
So I have the Echo 620 PW.
Yeah, I have an Echo chainsaw myself. I don't know the number. I just know I got it at Home Depot and clearance, and it works like a boss. It was super cheap. I don't know what super cheap is, but from regular price, it was probably 70% off probably when I got it, and it's made its money 20 times already.
Yeah, chainsaw is something that I absolutely love using. It's something that I feel so manly. I don't know if it's the Canadian in me that I just want to go into the woods and cut down some trees or something. But I also had a Home Depot kind of level CS. I want to say it was a 400-ish or 300-ish. I actually gave it to my dad once I got the 620 because I tried to pull out the 620. It's a big saw. You can get through some stuff super quick. And I pulled out the 300 one time when I had it. And when I had both saws, I'll say, started to cut down a tree because I was like, I don't need the 620 for this. And it took longer than like 1 second to get through part of the branch. And I was like, no, back to the 620. So I shipped off the 300 or whatever it was. So they're great saws. I love them. I think it is such an easy add-on for us in our line of work too, to cut down a trim, especially I think on a lot of commercial properties when you have trees in wide open spaces and commercial lots. they kind of get a little low, so you can't get under them with your mowers and stuff like that too. So I think even for our own benefit, it's good to
Yeah, I have one of those Milwaukee little hand chainsaw pruning things. I don't know what the tool number is, but anyways, I find myself using that way more than I should. But I appreciate what it does in helping me out. So anyways, cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Jason, for joining us. Thanks
You
for
bet.
everyone for being on the call. Make sure you check out echomeansbusiness.com for tons of great content from pros like us, and also social medias, the TikTok, the Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all of that. And make sure you join Mark Thomas for the August Live. Thanks again, Jason. Really appreciate it.